Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. We're gonna do what they say can't be done. We've got a long way to go.
Get in here tight! Listen to me! Hey! This is what you work for, fellas! That's goal number one! Alright, goal number two is get past this next one, so we gotta go get it! No wasted days this week! Yes, you put in too much work!
All right, Coach Thompson, after watching that celebration footage and listening to your comments, your post-game comments, and I wrote something about it after the game last week, but you mentioned that they've come so far, they've reached their first goal. Now they got to get the second goal, and there was going to be no days off this week. Have we taken any days off, or have we been getting after it?
No, they've come every day this week so far and been really engaged. You get to this point, you know, and you go out and you lay an egg. That's wasted. Everything that you've built it on is just wasted down the drain. So they've been really focusing and really practicing at a different level than they have all year, as far as intensity and how they are in practice. Out there today or tonight and hearing the pads pop in practice is nice. It's a good thing at this time of year. And guys just getting up and going. So it's been another level this week, and the guys are ready. So no days off.
No days off. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk about this week's matchup against Kentucky Country Day in the state Class A quarterfinals.
You know, ever since I was a child, I've loved land. I loved every land. My mother's father was a farmer, so that my granddaddy and his father was a farmer, and I spent my childhood's summers in coming to Kentucky and working on the farm, and everything from the smell of dirt to feeling it run the dirt go between your fingers. There's nothing like it.
I love option play.
Was that a 42 speed option?
Are you looking for a banking option?
Sequence, double party unit.
Coming to Marion soon.
5 regular season home games, at least 2 home playoff games, at 8 touchdowns per, 56 touchdowns. That's a lot of booms.
All right, welcome back, Rocket football fans. We're going to be eastbound and down like we were last year. That song was playing. Todd Riley and Vicky had it keyed up, ready to go as soon as the game was over last week. We're going east. We're going to Louisville this time. We're going to play Kentucky Country Day, the #1 team in the state of Kentucky according to the new RPI rating. They are undefeated. The Bearcats were ranked #2 in the Associated Press poll. The Rockets come in at #7. They were #7 at the end of the season in the Associated Press poll, and we are 10 in the RPI. So what does that mean for this matchup? Anything at all at this point?
It means nothing. At this point in the year, all the teams you play are going to be good. They are a good football team. They play hard. They're a very disciplined team. Not a lot of penalties, not a lot of turnovers. They try to force you into making mistakes. So it's going to be a really good team that we line up against, and we got to make sure that we match their level of discipline, their level of intensity. The rankings, to answer your question, mean nothing. There's going to be 2 teams that are going to line up and play, and then one team's going to win. If we win, that doesn't make us the #1 team. It's not, it's just 2 teams. It's all about the matchup. So hopefully we come out and we play to that standard that we're capable of playing and really give them a lot of trouble.
Well, certainly Crittenden County has a high standard when it comes to football. 9 regional championships we've played in the history of this program. Coach Courtney, you've played in one of those, or one of them we won, in fact, in 2008. Won it in 1985 as well. What do you see going into this football game as far as, are our kids mentally ready? Are they physically ready? Are they ready for this challenge?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe we're getting better every week. I think it's the right time. We want to be playing our best football right now, and I think you see it. Everything that I felt like, especially from a defense perspective, that I said at the beginning of the year, that I feel like this could be one of the best defenses that I've been around. I feel like that we're getting there every week, and now it's really starting to see it. We're hitting on all cylinders, and every guy is playing well.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're the #2 defense in Class A football if you look at the statistics on the KHSAA leaderboard. And we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk about what this defense has in store for Kentucky Country Day.
Here
at H&H, we've got just about anything that it takes to get you back out on the field.
Welcome to Hometown Chiropractic. I'll be right with you.
Since 1973, Hodges has been equipping Rockets and Rocket fans with gear and apparel. Come see us! We'll see you Friday night at the football game.
I'm Darren Tabor, Homestead Auction Realty. Let us get you across the goal line with a new home.
All right, welcome back to the show. Crittenden County comes into this football game this week, state quarterfinal game against Kentucky Country Day. A very good defense, one of the best defenses in the state of Kentucky, especially in Class A. KCD is one of the top rushing teams in the state, and that's what they do. That's their bread and butter, isn't it, Coach?
Yeah, they run a old school offense, single wing, a lot of pulling the guard, a lot of pulling a lot of people, and just getting a lot of blockers out in front of ball carriers. It'd be hard with what they do to tell who the quarterback is, and really and truly you can say they're snapping to the running back 8 times out of 10 anyways. It's a lot of misdirection in what they do, but really it's just the old school, in your face, we're coming at you type offense, and that's their bread and butter, is what they want to do. It's really given him a lot to work on, especially with the kind of defense coordinator he is. He's going to game plan and be ready for everything you do, so he's really had a lot of work for him this week. So.
Well, I know Coach Courtney has them prepared, and I know the defense players get their own packet to take home and study, and which is, you don't see that a lot at the high school level. So I know we're going to be well prepared. People have asked me, what does KCD do offensively? The film that I've seen on them, it looks kind of like what we did against Russellville the second half last week in the playoff game, and just a lot of that direct snap stuff, offset wing type guy, that they're going to run. It's kind of an odd looking offense when you see it.
Coach, as old as you are, you should know what this offense is.
Yeah, I know what the single wing is. Yeah. But it has some nuances to it that are, I think, unique and different. And it's a pretty nice concept. It's worked very well for them, Coach Courtney. How do you defend this?
Number one, I think we just got to meet their physicality. That offense is built on running the football. It's built on having more linemen in than normal offenses, unbalanced. They'll bring an extra offensive lineman in there. And just simply put, I mean, there's some things that we have to do that I don't want to get into, but we definitely have to meet their physicality. If we can make those guys not want to block us as hard, if we can play faster. And I think a big thing with any running team that's predominantly wants to run the football, if we can create negative plays and get them behind the sticks and make them do some things that they don't want to do, then we're in a lot better shape. They do a lot of pull runs where they pull a lot of guys if we can get in the hip pockets of the pullers and create some havoc, but they are foot to foot too, so it's a little bit tricky. It's definitely a good scheme. It's an old scheme, which I think is a good thing that they've tried to get an advantage doing that. Everyone's going to the spread. Now they have this older offensive scheme that people don't see anymore, and it really forces my hand or any defense coordinator's hands to the things you can do to it. I can't just go out and necessarily play what we would normally play against any other team.
How, if you could describe, of course, they run a lot of unbalanced line, like you said, have we played anybody else that has run unbalanced that often or had a similar type attack in the last couple of years? I do not recall.
No. I mean, I don't think that there's really anything to compare it. Probably it was just as far as run heavy they are and as big as they are. Probably Todd County is probably the closest thing we've seen, but not necessarily scheme-wise, but just overall concept of what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Our defense has given up 9 rushing touchdowns all season long. We have not given up a rushing touchdown in the last 3 weeks. So this is a team that comes in, they want to run the football. Can we get them stopped?
Oh, I think we can. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from KCD. They're a very good football team. They've obviously shown it, not losing the game. And I believe the number one rushing attack is it number one in Class A. So they've definitely shown that they can run the football. But I believe in our guys, and I believe that we're up to the task.
Well, big game for our defense this week, and it's been up to every challenge it's had all season long. We're going to come back in just a bit and talk to Coach Thompson about his offense and what KCD will do against the Rockets to try to stop them.
Hey, Rocket football fans!
Let Rommel Ellington tackle your dirty ride. Hello, I'm Rick Hughes at Deer Lakes Golf Course in Salem, Kentucky, home of Rocket Golfers.
Hey Kelly, it's almost Friday.
And we'll see you at Rocket Stadium.
Our Rocket football fans, we're going to talk about the Creighton County offense, and maybe we would call it a new awakening. I think since Luke Kreider's been at quarterback, we've been a little bit more successful throwing the football. Our running attack has been about the same, with Xander Tabor leading the way, who, by the way, is very close to breaking the single-season record. Got a shot at it this week. If he gets it, good chance we win this football game, because that means it's over 100 yards. What do we have to do offensively, Coach Thompson, to beat this football team? And what have you seen them do defensively on film?
They run a 3-3 stack, which is what we run. I think the strength of their defense is their linebackers. They got a few good linebackers that run around and get to the football. So it's almost like saying when we go at the beginning of the year and we install our offense, and the defense is always ahead at the beginning of the year. It's like playing against ourselves. So really, what we got to do this week is get back to the basics and do what we do offensively. We want to make sure that we move the sticks. We don't want to be 3 and out and give their offense opportunities to sit out there and run the clock, run the ball and take that clock away. So we want to be able to move the sticks. We got to be successful on first down to do that, and we got to be able to get the sticks moved on third. And we haven't always done that this year. But since Luke has, like you mentioned, been inserted into the offense, we've been better on third down and first as well. Just being able to make the plays, get 4 yards per play, average 4 yards per down, and really be able to move the sticks and stay on the field offensively. If we can stay on the field offensively and keep that offense off the field, we're successful on both sides of the ball that way. So we want to make sure that we're doing our job every play and making sure that we're getting positive gains.
And I agree. Our third down conversion rate has gone way up, and being able to run the football and throw the football. Teams can't just sit on one thing. Obviously, they can't stack the box like they were early in the season against us. Now, going into this game, Luke is the last couple of games we've seen him air it out, which has been something new, I will say. KCD's defense is going to give you a little bit of that.
Yeah, and we'll go into the game and see what they are going to give us. The 3-3, you can disguise so much. So we'll go in and really see what they're giving us. But the thing is there's some things that we can do to go in and start the game that just to attack any defense. What we like to call our bread and butter, which like he said, I'm not going to get into all that. So we're going to go into the game with mentality-wise is the same as it is every week. We're going to take what they give us, and we're going to try to make plays. So if the ball's in the quarterback's hands, we're not being very good. So we want to make sure that he gets it out to those athletes, and those athletes make plays.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with our trivia question.
You go to the game this week, you're going style, Rocket fans. Come by Max 2 Custom Kit and Detail for a $15 wash.
Cash back, please.
25 cents.
I need to cash this, please.
25 cents.
Cash back, please.
25 cents.
Hunter, why are you shortchanging the customers?
At this window, all you get's a quarterback.
From our team to yours, we're behind you all the way, Rockets. Par 4 Plastics, where people make the difference.
All right, welcome back to the show. Coach Thompson, I understand that we are going to take a pep bus to the ball game, so we should have a pretty sizable crowd. I know we've already sold almost 100 tickets here at the press. You have 100 out at the school, so we're going to take a nice crowd up there.
Yeah, and we typically travel well. You remember back last year where we had that following at Campbellsville. It's about the same distance. Our community supports us, and they love to go out and watch those boys fight. So I expect a big crowd.
And there are some specifics about when fans get there. So run through those if you would. Were you part? There's some kind of a play beforehand.
Yeah, they have something going on before the game, so they're opening the gates to get in at 6 o'clock.
So campus is going to be full. All the parking will be taken early. So they're saying don't show up early because they're not going to let you in.
They're not going to let you in. Yeah. So you're just going to have to wait till 6 o'clock and the gates open. So you give your ticket if you've purchased a ticket when you go to park. So there would be where you pull into the school.
Now 6 o'clock their time.
Their time.
So an hour and a half before kickoff.
Just like we open the gate an hour and a half
before kickoff.
Yeah. So it'd be the same, but you'll give your ticket, and then parking is for us. We'll follow the signs that go to guest parking. So just everybody get there at 6 o'clock and be patient, and then let's fill the stadium up.
Yeah. Well, we've got our trivia question for this week. Now, remember, if you have the answer to this, go down to H&H Home and Hardware and tell those fine folks the answer, and you will get a free round of golf down at Deer Lakes Golf Course. All right, this has to do with Xander Tabor. Right now, he has 1,477 yards rushing this season. This is a three-part question. You've got to get all three facets of this in order to win, okay? How many more yards does Xander need to break the single season record? And who currently holds the record? And what year was the current record set? So if you've got the answer to all three answers to that question, that multi-answer question, go down to H&H Home and Hardware and get yourself a free round of golf. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be
Before you go to break, you make sure Andy knows that I said this is the easiest question all year.
Yeah. Andy Hunt comes up with our question. I changed it around just a little bit, but this was his statistics. All right. Hey, the thing of it is, if you do your homework and you read Rocket Football online and in the newspaper, we give you all this information. You get it every week. All right. We'll be right back in just a moment to close out the show.
T-Bone, good luck this week.
Thank you.
Good luck this week, Tate.
Boys, we got to know what the game plan is this week. We're banking on you.
Full Body Fitness, training Rockets and Rocket fans since 2006.
Through the week, we are welding and fabricating. On Friday nights, we are grinding it out with the Rockets. Touchdown, Rockets!
All right, welcome back to the final segment of the show. We're going to close out tonight. We're going to ask Coach Courtney. Right now, this defense is playing just lights out. Last week held Russellville to 8 yards. Rushing. There was an earlier game where a team had negative yards rushing in a whole game. And what is making all this come together? We knew we had the pieces, but what's making it come together right now, and why right now?
Well, I think it just took time, and I think you've seen groups grow, and early in the year we're trying to get the.
And let me inject something too. And we have to add this caveat is that our top defensive players out for the year, Tyler Boone. Yes. But go ahead. Excuse me.
Yeah, and it kind of goes into what I'm saying that it's team defense. It really is. It's not individually at all. Every piece plays a part in the success we're having, and I really believe probably the biggest or most important part of the defense being so successful here late has been the defensive line play. It's just been outstanding. Especially the four guys that we rotate regularly with.
Run through those guys.
Dylan Yates, Lathan Easley, Noah McGowan, and Preston Turley. Those four guys, all four of them are just playing lights out. Yeah, they really are. And the linebackers have played well, and the other groups have all played well. But the biggest difference, I think, it has been those four guys down there for us.
And certainly the linebacking core is playing very well. And like we said, without Tyler in there, Caden has really stepped his game up. Caden McAllister, I see him just playing so well. All of them. Ian playing linebacker, and Jonesy's playing so well back there. And some of these younger guys are really growing up in the secondary.
And somebody should add in to Braxton Winters, as much as I blitz him out there, he kind of comes into the defense line front. Man, he's really picked it up. I think moved in positions that we didn't really talk about. I haven't mentioned much, but he had to move positions this year, and it took him a while. It's a lot different to be that blitz linebacker versus just a regular inside linebacker. And I think it took him a little bit, a half a season to figure it out. But man, he's really turned it on.
His motor has changed gears. It's changed gears, and his feet are changing gears too. Yeah. We've watched him, his large body of work since he was a young kid, and he's gotten quicker.
He has. Yeah.
And he's playing quicker.
He is, playing much better.
Coach Thompson, something similar. as far as the offense, I mean, we've mentioned we think the offense kind of found its second gear maybe with Luke and getting some of that pass, get some rhythm in the passing game. If that's second gear, how do we get to third gear in this game against Kentucky Country Day in the state quarterfinals when it always gets tough sledding?
Yeah, you just got to continue with the consistency, and that's what Luke provided, was just consistency and a level head. So we were just losing those mistakes that were happening as far as just getting calls and checks, you know. And then the guys that have been making plays, Turley stepped up in the passing game for us, and Caden and X running all over the place the last few weeks, and
catching some balls too.
Catching some balls as well. Both of them catching balls, and that's a big thing, is how many guys were able to throw the ball to. And then also hand it to, and then Morganson, you know, getting a little more involved in the offense, and Maddox stepping up really and being a guy that can catch the ball on the outside. So we feel comfortable anywhere we go with the ball, and that's what, you know, does it. And then, you know, the line has been consistent all year, you know, and we finally got it going behind them and really be able to take advantage of what they've done for us up front as far as protection and opening up holes.
And KCD, they're going to bring some pressure.
Yeah.
They're going to bring pressure. Yeah. So this week, our line, how important is their play?
Very important. You know, we'll have to make sure that our eyes are up and, you know, we really follow our paths and understand what's happening in front of us. So if we're tired and our heads are down, it could be a long night for us. But I don't see them letting that happen. I see them, they're ready. We had a really good practice today. And I think that we can protect the quarterback, keep him clean.
This is going to be a long road trip, or a relatively long road trip. It's not like it could be if we win this week, where we may go on to the other side of the state of Kentucky. But is that going to affect them at all? Driving, going up there, riding on a yellow school bus, and then, you know, getting out and trying to play?
It's hard to say if it does or doesn't. You know, that's easy to use as an excuse. We're going to give them plenty of breaks from the bus. You know, we'll make sure that they have opportunity to stretch their legs, and we'll get there and we'll go through our typical routine like we would, but we'll have them that extra 30 minutes built in where they can move around. Our kids are mentally tough. You know, that the ride's not going to be an excuse for them. So I think that they'll come out ready to play regardless. It doesn't matter where we're going to drive to. They're excited about football. They love football. So they understand that can't be an excuse.
Well, Crittenden County's back in the state quarterfinals for the second year in a row, going up against Kentucky Country Day, a private school from Louisville, the #1 team in the state of Kentucky, bar no class. They are the #1 team according to the new RPI ranking. That makes them ranked higher than St. X and Mayfield and Beechwood and Pikeville, and the list goes on. And we're going to go play them Friday night. Kickoff is 7:30 p.m. Louisville time, 6:30 p.m. our time. If you hadn't got your tickets yet, they're still available at the school and at the Crittenden Press office. $6, you buy them in advance. You'll pay $8 at the door, and 10 and under is free.
10 and under is free.
All right, we'll see Rocket Nation in Louisville Friday night at Kentucky Country Day.
Everything in this country was built from the ground up, and it starts with land. When I can go out and take somebody onto a property and see that gleam in their eye when they find a farm that they fall in love with because they're as passionate about land as I am, that's when the magic happens. That's what makes what we do so great. There's no dollar amount. There's nothing else that can compare to the look you get when somebody signs on that dotted line and their dreams have come true about owning land.